My friends laughed because I didn't order food until the bill came, and they demanded that I split it. I met up with my college friends at this upscale steakhouse downtown. We hadn't seen each other in about 6 months, so everyone was excited. There were 8 of us total, and I showed up right on time at 7 o'clock. The moment I walked in, Marcus was already waving a menu at me. Dude, they have wagyu beef here. We're going all out tonight. Everyone was nodding and agreeing, already talking about appetizers and bottles of wine. I sat down, and when the waiter came around, I ordered a water. Just water? No food? Jessica looked at me confused. You're not eating? I shook my head. Nah, I'm good. I ate before I came. The table went quiet for a second. Then Marcus laughed. You ate before coming to a restaurant? That's the most broke college student thing I've ever heard. Everyone joined in laughing. Sarah said, did you have ramen in your dorm room before this? I just smiled. Something like that. They kept making jokes throughout the night. Every time someone ordered something expensive, they'd look at me and say, oh wait, we can't let the broke guys see this. When Marcus ordered his second cocktail, he said, this one's for you, buddy, since you can't afford to drink with us. I didn't say anything. I just sipped my water and listened to everyone talk about their new jobs, their apartments, their cars. Marcus worked in finance now. Jessica was in marketing. Everyone seemed to be doing well. The food started coming out. Steaks that cost more than my weekly grocery budget. Lobster tails, truffle fries. Bottles of wine that were easily $100 each. I ordered 3 bottles total. I watched them eat and drink for 2 hours. They kept offering me bites of their food out of pity. Here, try some of the steak. I know you're hungry just watching us. When dessert came around, Marcus ordered the most expensive thing on the menu. A chocolate souffle that took 20 minutes to make. He made a big show of it, saying it was to celebrate his promotion. Finally, the waiter brought the check. He set it in the middle of the table, and everyone suddenly got quiet. I watched Marcus pick it up, and his eyes went wide. Holy shit. $1,200? Sarah gasped for 8 people. Marcus started doing math on his phone. Okay, so if we split it evenly. Marcus said, his voice straining for a casual tone that didn't quite land. That's $150 a head. Plus tip. Let's call it $180 to be safe and take care of the service. He looked around the table, collecting nods like he was a pastor passing the collection plate. Jessica pulled out her sleek black card. Sarah was already opening her Venmo app. Then Marcus turned his gaze to me. He tapped the receipt on the tablecloth. I'll spot you if you don't have the liquidity right now, man, he said, loud enough for the table next to us to hear. You can pay me back when you get your situation sorted. I didn't move. I didn't reach for my wallet. I just sat there, my hands folded on the white linen, looking at the half-empty glass of tap water in front of me. No, I said. The chatter stopped. It wasn't a slow fade, it was a hard cut. Excuse me? Jessica asked, her eyebrow arching. I said no. I repeated, my voice level. I'm not splitting the bill. Marcus let out a short, incredulous scoff. Bro, don't be a dick. We're all friends here. It's a group dinner. That's how this works. A group dinner implies we all dined, I said. I sat here for 2 hours. I watched you eat wagyu. I watched you drink 3 bottles of Cabernet. I watched Sarah send back her truffle fries because they were too cold, and get a fresh batch. I had water. So what? Sarah snapped. You took up a seat. You enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed the atmosphere? I looked at her. You guys spent the last 120 minutes making jokes about my financial status. You called me broke 7 times. Marcus offered a toast to my poverty. I don't think I'll be paying $200 for the privilege of being your punchline. Marcus slammed his hand on the table. It wasn't hard enough to break anything, but it made the silverware jump. Stop being so petty. We're trying to help you save face. Do you want the waiter to run a separate check for $0? It's embarrassing. Embarrassing for whom? I asked. For you. Marcus hissed. I signaled the waiter. He was a younger guy, looked like he was in grad school, and had been hovering nervously near the station, sensing the tension. He walked over. Yes, sir. Hi, I said. I'd like to settle my portion of the bill, please. The waiter looked at the table, then at me, then at the empty space in front of me. Sir, you just had the tap water. Correct. That's free, sir. I nodded. Excellent. And I'd like to leave a tip for the service. I reached into my beat-up denim jacket, the one Jessica had side-eyed when I walked in, and pulled out a money clip. It was simple stainless steel. I peeled off a crisp $100 bill. I placed it in the waiter's hand. Thank you for keeping my glass full, I said. You were the only person at this table who treated me with respect tonight. The table went dead silent. You could hear the hum of the air conditioning. The waiter stared at the bill, then at me. Sir, I can't. Keep it, I said. Then I stood up. As for the rest of the bill, I gestured to the receipt sitting in front of Marcus. I believe the finance expert has the math covered. You piece of shit, Marcus muttered, his face turning a shade of crimson that matched the wine he'd been guzzling. You're really going to stick us with this? I'm not sticking you with anything, I said, buttoning my jacket. I'm just not subsidizing your lifestyle. There's a difference. Don't bother calling us, Jessica spat out. Seriously. Lose our numbers. Way ahead of you, I said. I turned and walked toward the exit. I could feel their eyes burning into my back. I could hear the frantic whispering start up before I even reached the host's stand. They weren't whispering about me anymore. They were whispering about how they were going to cover the extra $150 they hadn't planned on spending. The night air was cool, a sharp contrast to the stifling air of the steakhouse. I took a deep breath, checking my watch. 9:15 p.m. I walked over to the valet stand. The attendant, an older man named Earl whom I'd met a few times before under different circumstances, brightened up when he saw me. Mr. Sterling, Earl said. Leaving already? Company wasn't great tonight, Earl, I said. Can you bring her around? Right away. While I waited, the heavy oak doors of the steakhouse swung open. Marcus, Jessica, and Sarah stumbled out. They looked flustered. They were arguing. I can't put that much on my card, I'm near the limit, Sarah was whining. Well, I'm not covering your lobster, Sarah, Marcus shouted, losing his cool demeanor entirely. They stopped dead when they saw me standing by the curb. Oh look, Marcus sneered, walking over. He looked slightly unhinged. Waiting for the bus. Or is your mom picking you up in her minivan? I didn't answer. I just watched the driveway. You know, Jessica said, crossing her arms. That stunt back there proved everything we thought about you. You're bitter. You're jealous because we made something of ourselves and you're still, whatever you are. You used to be cool, Sarah added. Now you're just sad. Headlights swept across the pavement. A low, guttural rumble vibrated through the soles of our shoes. It wasn't a minivan. It was a McLaren 720S Spider. Onyx black. It looked like a spaceship that had decided to land on Earth just to intimidate gravity. The car pulled up smoothly to the curb. Earl hopped out and held the butterfly door open. Here you go, Mr. Sterling, Earl said. She's purring like a kitten. Marcus stopped talking. His mouth was slightly open. Jessica's arms dropped to her sides. Sarah squinted, as if trying to process the visual information in front of her. I handed Earl a 20. Thanks, Earl. I slid into the driver's seat. The leather creaked softly. I looked up at the three of them standing on the sidewalk, bathed in the red glow of the restaurant's neon sign. They looked small. Marcus, I said. He blinked, looking like he'd been slapped. Whose car is that? Mine, I said. I bought it to celebrate. Celebrate what? He croaked. The sale of my software company, I said. Closed the deal this morning. I didn't order food because I had a wagyu dinner with the Google acquisition team at 5 p.m. I was full. I pushed the start button. The engine roared, a sound that drowned out the city noise. I came tonight because I missed you guys, I said, my voice cutting through the quiet that followed the engine rev. I wanted to pay the whole bill. I was going to fly us all to Cabo for the weekend to celebrate. I just wanted to see if you were still my friends first. I looked at Jessica. Her face was pale. She looked like she was about to be sick. Turns out, I said, putting the car in gear. I saved myself $1,200. And the cost of a private jet charter. Wait, Marcus said, stepping forward, his hand reaching out. Leo, wait. Come on, man, it was just a joke. We were just busting your balls. Yeah, Leo. Sarah chimed in, her voice pitching up an octave. You know how we are. I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. I know exactly how you are, I said. That's the problem. I hit the gas. The tires bit the pavement, and I shot away from the curb, leaving them standing in a cloud of exhaust and regret. By the time I got back to my penthouse, my phone was vibrating so hard it was sliding across the marble countertop. 15 missed calls from Marcus. 7 missed calls from Jessica. Text from Sarah. Leo, please pick up. We need to talk. I'm so sorry. I placed the phone face down and poured myself a drink. Not water this time. A 30-year-old scotch. I walked to the window, looking out over the city skyline. It had been a long 6 months. While they were posting Instagram stories about their grind and leasing cars they couldn't afford, I had been sleeping 4 hours a night, coding in a basement, building an AI integration tool that just revolutionized logistics. The deal was for $42 million. I hadn't told anyone, not even my parents yet. I wanted my friends to be the first to know. I wanted to see their genuine reactions before the money changed the dynamic. Well, the money didn't change the dynamic. It just revealed it. The next morning, the story broke. TechCrunch ran the article at 8 a.m. Silent disruptor. The 23-year-old who just sold Logitech for $42 million. My face was on the homepage. I was wearing a hoodie, looking tired but determined. By 9 a.m., my LinkedIn notifications were broken. By 10 a.m., Marcus showed up at my old apartment. I wasn't there, of course. I had moved out 3 months ago, but I hadn't updated my address. My old landlord told me later that a sweaty guy in a cheap suit had been banging on the door for 20 minutes. I spent the day meeting with wealth managers and real estate agents. I was busy. I was moving forward. But they wouldn't let go. 3 days later, I was leaving a coffee shop in the financial district, my new neighborhood, when I was ambushed. Lao. It was Marcus. He looked terrible. Dark circles under his eyes, shirt untucked. He must have been stalking my social media or guessing where I'd be. He ran up to me out of breath. Leo, man. I've been trying to reach you. I kept walking, sipping my espresso. I've been busy, Marcus. Look, I read the article. 42 mil? That's insane, bro. Congratulations. He tried to clap me on the shoulder. I stepped to the side, and his hand hit the air. What do you want, Marcus? He laughed nervously. I don't want anything. I feel terrible about the other night. The alcohol, the stress of work. I wasn't myself. You know me. We're brothers. We're not brothers, I said. We were dorm mates. That's cold, man. Look, I'm actually in a bit of a jam. He lowered his voice, looking around. That dinner, it overdrated me. And I've got this investment opportunity coming up. If I could just borrow like 5 grand, I'd pay you back with interest. Serious interest. I stopped and looked at him. This was the guy who 3 nights ago mocked me for drinking water. You want $5,000? I asked. Yeah. Just to float me. You have it now, right? It's like pocket change for you. I have it, I said. But do you remember what you said when I ordered water? Marcus flinched. I told you it was a joke. You said, talented people can thrive anywhere. Consider this an exercise to build character. I didn't mean it like that. I think you did. And I think you were right. I took a sip of my coffee. You're in a tough spot, Marcus. Being broke is hard. But if you hustle, maybe skip the steak dinners, cut back on the cocktails, you'll figure it out. It'll build character. Leo, come on, he pleaded, his desperation leaking through his pores. Don't be like this. I'm not being anything, I said. I'm just the broke guy from college. Remember? We can't let the broke guy see the good stuff. I hailed a cab. As I opened the door, Marcus grabbed the handle. You think you're better than us? He spat, his face twisting into the ugly expression I remembered from the restaurant. You're just a nerd who got lucky. You're still a loser, Leo. Money doesn't change that. I looked him in the eye. You're right. Money doesn't change who you are. It just magnifies it. It made me generous. It made you a beggar. I slammed the door and told the driver to drive. A month later, I received a letter in the mail. It was an invitation to Jessica's birthday party. A rooftop bar. Very exclusive. Attached was a handwritten note. Lay. I know things got weird. I'm sorry Marcus was such a jerk. I really miss you. Please come. No gifts necessary, just your presence. Love, Jess. I stared at the invite. I thought about the days in the library studying with Jessica. I thought about the times she helped me with my English essays. Then I thought about her face when the waiter brought the check. The way she looked at me with pure disgust when she thought I couldn't pay. She didn't miss me. She missed the idea of having a rich friend. She missed the access. I didn't go to the party. Instead, I sent a gift. I sent a courier to the rooftop bar at the peak of the party. He delivered a large, beautifully wrapped box to Jessica in front of everyone. She must have been thrilled. She probably thought it was a designer bag or jewelry. She probably told everyone, "Oh, Leo sent this, we're so close." I wasn't there, but a mutual friend, someone who hadn't been at the steakhouse, told me what happened. Jessica opened the box. Inside, resting on a bed of silk, were 8 packages of instant ramen noodles, chicken flavor, and a note. Asterisk for the dorm room days. Eat up. The broke guy asterisk. It's been 2 years since that night at the steakhouse. I live in San Francisco now. I started a venture capital firm. I back kids who have great ideas but no money. I look for the ones who order water at dinner because they're saving every penny for their dream. I haven't spoken to Marcus, Jessica, or Sarah since. I heard Marcus got fired for embezzlement. He was trying to cover his gambling debts. Sarah married a guy she hates because he drives a Porsche. Jessica is still working in marketing, posting photos of her food, pretending her life is perfect. I still eat ramen sometimes. Not because I have to, but because I like it. It reminds me of where I came from. And every time I go to a steakhouse, I order the wagyu. And I always tip the waiter 100%. Because the bill always comes due. And I can finally afford to pay it.